Last round. Holy ground.
Out here in front of the Cook County Jail 26 in California, Justice for Laquan rally and the GAPA organization of a coalition of grassroots persons who are standing against police brutality, holding the police accountable, and trying to get the elected officials on board to create laws that regulates the actions and behaviors of police officers. Right now we're in front of 26 of California, as you all can see. And this is the Justice for Laquan GAPA Peace Rally. Trying to So as you can see, we out here. Police is in force as well. So anytime you're standing against them, of course, they will most definitely have, they will be enforced in numbers. The Quan McDonald trial is still going on from what I understand. Just let's take a listen. Yep. Good job. That's it.
Oh yeah, we good.
Yeah, turn it up.
Over just a little bit more to the center. Thank you. Good evening.
I see. What you got to say about what's going on out here?
Look here, we need community unity, man, for a civilian oversight committee on police accountability. This is the only way we're going to hold Chicago police accountable for their behavior and their actions. We have a systemic problem going on for decades in the city of Chicago. We're going to break that history with ourselves. So we got to come together in unity for a civilian oversight committee to start holding Chicago police accountable.
Excellent.
My name's Jesse Rojo. I'm the Northside organizer of Community Renewal Society. And to begin with, I want to thank you all for being here tonight for the Justice for Laquan Peace and Unity Rally hosted by the Grassroots Alliance for Police Accountability. Thank you all for being here tonight. Tonight we are representing a number of different organizations that are fighting different battles and different tactics and strategies, but tonight we are united as we call for justice for Laquan and justice for all our communities that are suffering under a deep division between police and citizens. Over the last few weeks, we've seen some major developments, whether it be the federal consent decree the city is entering, or the millions in dollars that is being spent on police misconduct case, or the bloodshed that continues to this very day throughout our city. Every single day, we are reminded of the trial of Jason Van Dyke, and every single day we pray that we receive true justice. But tonight we will take a moment to reflect on our fight for police accountability, on our fight for justice for Laquan. And so I'm going to introduce you to my co-MC and let him speak about himself, why we're all here. Then we're going to have some people speak about GAPA and police accountability. But again, thank you all for being here tonight.
Hello everyone, my name is Devontae Boston. I'm 21 years old, a Chicago native. I'm a leader with GKMC, SWAP, and the co-founder of TGI Movement. I've been dealing with violence in my community since I can remember. As a black male, I have experienced many injustices, like being shot at, jumped, and having a gun pulled out on me. I also have many friends that have been arrested with no cause, and a lot of friends who have died to gun violence. This week, Laquan would have been 21 years old, which is how old I am. He was taken from us in our own community. This could have easily been me. I have been fighting for justice and equality since my freshman year of high school. I have been fighting for safer communities, safer schools, but Laquan was killed by the people that were supposed to keep us safe. How are we supposed to believe in a system that don't believe in us? The system needs to change. I stand here a part of GAPA coalition because as a young black youth, my voice and my communities should be included in how we police our communities.
Sure.
And how the police is held accountable and just like how they hold us accountable. Today we are here to call for justice for Laquan and to call our communities to stay unified in this fight to get justice for Laquan. Now we will have two guest speakers, Chicago youth from the South Side of Chicago, Antonio Magic, a leader with GKMC, and Namir Felton, a leader with Iman.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Antonio Magic. I'm a co-founder and leader with Good Kids Mad City Inglewood, a youth movement that brought together black and brown youth across the city of Chicago to create support systems for one another and other unprivileged youth in Chicago. To address the destabilizing effect of poverty and violence in our communities by one way of urging our elected officials to invest in our communities, our education and employment in our city. But today we are here in response to another kind of violence. Violence that have us all here today in a pursuit of justice for Laquan McDonough, a then 17-year-old who was not only shot and killed by the police, but was failed by the system. A young boy who had to wait a year for his story to come out. A young boy who had to wait 4 years for a trial to get started for a killer cop that was let off for 4 years. He had to wait 4 years to sit in his home and live life while this young boy was buried, while his family had to suffer. And this man is brought to court every day with a bulletproof vest on, while we are all still out here in danger, having the fear that we'll one day be taken out by the cops. We see this too often in Chicago, where young and older black men, women, and children fall victim to police shootings. And then we are sold these stories that the officer was fearing for his or her life, or that the suspect exhibited characteristics of an armed individual, or that the suspect accidentally shot himself in the head committing suicide. These are the stories that they tell us about our people. But we are no fools. One thing that we are is fed up though. As a young black man and leader of a Good Kids Mad City and a supporter of GAPA, this trial and the life of Laquan means everything to us. This is why we do the work that we do, to prevent young men from going through a life that Laquan so silently had to experience. For preventing young black men of color from going through violence which Laquan McDonough had to experience. Police violence is real. It must be addressed and resolved with major reformation. If not, this system, which was built off the foundation of slave patrols and oppressing the black man and his family, will forever be corrupt and distrusted. But we don't just want indictments and payoff settlements. We don't want the same old, same old. We want accountability. We want convictions. We want prison time. We want change. Lastly, and most importantly, as Good Kids Mad City do most of this through that movement, public safety needs to be addressed. And the only solution is justice reinvestment, as it will stop other youth from going through the things that Laquan McDonough had to go through. Thank you.
Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. I want to start off with something, because I want to share a little bit more energy, because I'm kind of nervous. So when I say fight fear, you're gonna say build power. Fight fear! Build power! Fight fear! Build power! Fight fear! Build power! Thank you, thank you. So my name is Amir Felton. I'm a youth organizer at Iman, located on 63rd in California. I've had my fair share of over-policing in my community, Chicago Line neighborhood, which is the same district that Laquan McDonald was brutally gunned down by Jason Van Dyke. This could have been me. Chicago has spent $600 million in federal unlawful death lawsuits. The city spent $95 million on a police academy, $95 million on the police academy in Garfield Park. But we have schools closing. We have community Chicago police within our TPS schools on the south and west side. We need to call for action. We need to call for unity. We are on the eve of an eviction, positive and negative. We will bring change within our community. We must all unite for accountability. We demand a civilian-led oversight committee. We should not be fearful of stepping up within our community. We will fight fear with power, the power to hold CPD accountable, the power to unite ourselves over the violence in our own communities, use this emotion of anger to organize, to be more we should have tactics in our addressing the systems that would take away, that has taken away our power and keep producing the same outcome. Producing that same outcome of shooting young black men in the streets, and something that we need to change and something that we need to come together and unite on. So when I say fight fear, we're going to say what? Fight fear.
Build power.
Fight fear.
Build power.
Fight fear.
Build power.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
All right, up next, we're going to introduce some of our GAPA supporters. So please welcome Greg Kelly, president of SEIU Healthcare Illinois, one of the largest public unions in Illinois and one of the best because they are championed and led by women of color, as well as William O., a youth organizer with the Hana Center, an organization that works with Asian American communities that are suffering the same injustices that we all are. So let's give them a round of applause.
Good evening, brothers and sisters. Again, my name is Greg Kelly, and I happen to be president of SEIU Healthcare Illinois. And we are here in solidarity with you today. We believe that must be justice for Laquan. And we know that there must be justice for Laquan because our members who live primarily on the south and west sides of this city understand daily the struggle of not having justice in their communities. It is our job to come together and fight with folks who really understand the struggle in our communities. And so it is my honor to be here in solidarity with you today. Our members who work in home care and child care and nursing homes and hospitals live on the west and south sides of this city. And they understand what over-policing means. They understand what disinvestment in community means. And we are under attack as working people. And so we again stand in solidarity with you today. We stand in solidarity with you tomorrow because we want justice not just for Laquan, we want justice for all of our communities. We want justice for all of our community. Y'all gonna fight with us for justice for everybody? All right, thank you, thank you.
Good evening, everyone. My name is William O., and I'm the youth organizer with Hana Center, where we serve and organize Korean, Asian American, and multiracial immigrant communities in the city of Chicago and the suburban area. Hana Center is a proud member of United Congress Community and Religious Organizations. We are here today to show a strong solidarity of Asian American and immigrant communities with other communities of color to the issues around racial justice, police brutality, and especially justice for Laquan and justice for all people. Police brutality, mass incarceration, and the terrorizing of black and brown communities, and the detention, terrorization, and deportation of immigrant communities are all interconnected. Let's be clear. None of us are free until all of us are. We are unapologetic in calling for justice for Laquan
And we are also unapologetic in our belief that a prison conviction is not the completion of justice, because we cannot depend on the same institutions that terrorize our communities for the justice we seek and deserve. Rather, we must come together as one to fight for systemic change and reimagine our society in order to ensure justice for every member of our society, not just a select few. We're fighting for a future where every person can live with full citizenship, dignity, health, and love. Justice for Laquan! Thank you.
Good job.
Real fast, I just want to echo the chant that Amir did, to fight, build power, because it takes a lot of courage to fight against a system that has no problem killing us. Like, and I commend everyone that's here. Can we get a round of applause for ourselves, please? And now we have our next speaker, a community member and a representative of the people, Ojo Patterson.
Good evening, guys. Good evening. Good evening. Again, man, I just want to thank you guys for coming out, man. And I know this is bigger than everybody here. All together, man, this is what it's about. Us being on accord and not only want to each other, but for equality. And I think oftentimes we get off into, you know, social justice. We get off into these huge labels that we forget about some of the most important things that make us who we are as a people. And what I've done is I've put together, along with my testimony, definitions, guys. Let's look at this for a second. Reform, to put or change into an improved form or condition. To amend or improve by change of form or removal of faults or abuses. To put an end to, open parentheses, an evil, close parentheses, by enforcing or introducing a better method or course of action. To introduce or cause to be abandoned, to introduce or cause to abandon evil ways. Reform a drunkard is the example, right? All of us have family members, or some of us might out here be, such as myself, reform from drug use and abuse, and, you know, other things, you know what I'm saying? So we know what reform is. Bugs are crazy.
Okay.
To become changed for the better. That's another one for reform. To amend of what is defective, vicious, corrupt, or depraved. To remove or correction of errors or of an abuse or a wrong. Reform has come up a couple times in our history, guys, for the same reason, and it's been because of the misbehavior and misuse of authority through the police departments, no matter what state. For example, in the 1960s, Somerdale, if you guys are not familiar, Somerdale officers were running a scandal in the North Side District, and they were accused of running a large-scale burglary ring, which led to the creation of Chicago Police Board. That was in 1960. In 1970, the Blue Ribbon panel criticized the department's use of force and relations with minority Chicagoans, resulting in a new police disciplinary agency. And then in the 1990s, a wave of officers' indictments led to Mayor Richard M. Daley's Police Integrity Commission, which highlighted shortcomings in the supervision of officers, among other problems, right? So with this new police reform, which is another reform for the same reason and cause that they were in the past, their plan is to allow the same thing to happen through the other reforms to happen this time too. And that's to put in place and in charge people that work for the city, people that are of the department.
the police department? How is it that the people that need to be reformed, or we're calling for reform, are in charge of the reform? How is it that they're in charge of what they're supposed to be held to a certain account to? You can't be in charge of. It's just like I was once in Cook County Jail. If you guys don't know, I was incarcerated here, and there's something called a grievance. You can put in a grievance on officers mistreating. You can put in grievances for anything, right? But the grievances have to go through the same officers that you pass them to. They have the right to read the grievance and throw it right in the garbage. You see what I'm saying? So that's basically what I feel and what we feel as a people has been going on all this time. We've been giving charge to the same people that's supposed to be reformed. And then another thing is social justice. It's a state or doctrine of egalitarianism. Now that's a huge word, not because it's long, because it has like almost 20 letters, but it's a huge word because egalitarianism is basically what we're out here for right now. It's a belief in human equality, especially with respect to social, political, economic affairs. A social philosophy advocating the removal of inequalities among the people, the doctrine that all people are equal and deserve equal rights and opportunities. This word equality, guys, is so big, and it's what never gets spoken about.
26 in California, that's where we at.
Justice all the time, but without equality, it doesn't matter what we march. You know what I'm saying? We talk about civil rights, but human rights should be at the front and uttermost part of the black and white law that the judges read by. How are you looking at me more as smaller than black and white than, like I'm a human, I'm a breathing, bleeding human being? How is it that I'm not bigger than black and white, or that I can't be seen to a certain degree or standard because of my wrongdoing, right? Even for people who do wrong things and serve their time to, the prison system.
Part of the problem is,
they're not giving.
You have more people out here
everybody else is giving
that don't look like Laquan than the people out here that look like Laquan, and that's the problem. That's one reason things go on. The police is able to do what they do to us because we don't unify and stand together as a people. And until we do that, they will continue to shoot, maim, and kill our sons and daughters.
And outside of equality, it's just a system that's bigger than anything that we can ever comprehend. You know what I'm saying? It's way bigger and deeper than just us, guys. So this, what we're doing, this groundwork that we're doing, man, this is an amazing act on behalf of the people. People that are here now and the millions and billions of people in the United States that are not here. This is a huge act, guys. So we just, it's amazing to see our brothers and sisters out here and the diversity, man. Say you can't get through this, man. We got people of all different ethnicities and nationalities out here right now, guys. I think y'all should zoom in. Turn these cameras around, man, and put the cameras on each other, man. We are all out here, man, and this is what's really gonna make the difference, because Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy, divide, and conquer. If he can't get through us, if he can't weed through us and single out people that's gonna sell out or do something wrongfully to the people, man, he's defeated, man. So I really encourage that we keep coming out and that we invite others out, man. This is awesome. I love you guys. Another thing I wanted to mention, and I don't want to be super duper long, the same thing that happened to Laquan McDonald on October the 20th, 2014 happened to me a few months prior on August the 16th, 2014. I was incarcerated literally 2 months before him, 2 months and 6 days to the date. And I end up living for the same thing. I got my life threatened by 2 officers, wrongfully pulled over, discriminated against, racially profiled, came up with every excuse in the book. But because I was with an organization called CRS, Community Renewal Society, man, these people, man, really stretched me, man. All I did was tell them the law, and they got mad. 2 white officers. and see a black brother with a background and try to put me back asunder. But the Lord said, no. I told them that after they got done beating me up and putting these 200 grams of dope on me, saying that I beat them up and resisted arrest, I still told them, and then put a gun to the back of my head and told me I should kill you. I think the only reason that it didn't happen is because it was witnesses out there looking at it directly. You know what I'm saying? So, it's bigger than us, guys. I told them even through that, my Lord is going to redeem me. 3 days later, CRS came and got me, y'all. CRS made me the first fruit to, you know, actually stepping out in action. When you see them shirts that say faith in action, they actually put their action to their faith. And came and got a brother that they knew was innocent. So I just want to thank CRS again, man, and let's do the work. Let's continue to show up and show out, guys. God is doing something behind the scenes. God bless you. Love you.
Alright, hope you guys don't remember, but when I say fight fear, you guys say build power, right? Fight fear!
Build power!
Fight fear!
Build power!
Fight fear!
Build power!
Alright. So up next is
sure
our
you stay
last
up with
speaker,
me.
so let's give a round of applause for our faith leaders, our leaders who have stood with us at the front of the battle line for justice, who have fought, put faith at the center of justice. Let's give a round of applause for Rabbi Lauren of Mishkan, Chicago, as well as Reverend Samuel Paul, an associate pastor at Greater Pleasant Green Missionary Baptist Church.
Leave me
My
right
name
by.
is Lauren Henderson, and I'm a rabbi at Mishkan, Chicago, Jewish community, mostly on the north side. Also is signed on and endorsed the GAPA ordinance. And I'm also a proud community member of the Jewish Council on Urban Affairs.
They were showing you a lot of love
In our history as Jews, we have known, unfortunately, what it has felt like to not be able to trust those who are put in positions of power to protect and serve the communities around them.
Right.
We have known what it has felt like to not be able to trust those people in positions of power. And now here in Chicago in 2018, we are here standing in solidarity as part of the chorus of thousands of voices of people throughout the city who are demanding transformational change and police reform here in Chicago. And we are asking for better policing and true justice for communities of color, which includes a number of Jews of color who are in our very own communities. We're in the middle of a Jewish holiday now called Sukkot, which is a time when we remember...
Thank you, Melody Jones. We most definitely got to keep your 12-year-old son on the right path and with great mentors. Thank you for tuning in.
Our own fragility as human beings. And we ask for blessings of peace and protection and safety. So I want to close with a prayer for all of us. Ufros aleinu sikat shlomecha. God, spread your canopy of peace over all of us, over these people here today, over the city of Chicago, so that no more lives like Laquan McDonald's are lost to police violence. And let us say, Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. My name is Reverend Samuel Paul, and I'm an associate pastor at Greater Pleasant Green Missionary Baptist Church on the far south side of Chicago. And I come with you tonight to stand with you tonight. I'd like to read a scripture found in the book of Isaiah, the first chapter. When you spread out your hands in prayer, I hide my eyes from you. Even when you offer many prayers, I am not listening. Your hands are full of blood. Wash and make yourselves clean. Take your evil deeds out of my sight. Stop doing wrong. Learn to do right. Seek justice. Defend the oppressed. Take up the cause of the fatherless, plead the case of the widow. Come now, let us settle the matter, says the Lord. Laquan McDonald died at the hands of police officers who really didn't
care about black bodies.
Teach.
Really didn't care. Laquan McDonald's murder was a modern day lynching. And I say that because his body was riddled with bullets. This week, a forensic pathologist testified for the defense that there was one bullet that tore through Laquan McDonald's heart, and that was the fatal bullet. But there was other testimony that said Laquan McDonald was alive to experience all 16 shots. The forensic pathologist said the other 15 bullets, the other 15 shots were immaterial. Imagine that. Somebody shoots you 15 times and all of those shots that tear through your body and break your bones and damage brain tissue are immaterial. Imagine that. As Laquan McDonald lay there defenseless, dying on a cold street in the city of Chicago, blood gurgling, he's struggling, trying to breathe, and the police officers who shot him simply stood around to watch, offering no aid, offering no assistance. Yes, his murder was a modern-day lynching. In the United States of America, there are over 4,000 recorded lynchings. I serve a God who stands with the oppressed. I serve a God that seeks justice. But in the United States of America, over 4,000 lynchings. Folk went to church and came out of church and hung black bodies on bridges and in trees, cutting off their fingers one by one, cutting off their toes one by one. If they were men, cutting their testicles, castrating them. If they were men, tarring their bodies, and yet setting their bodies on fire. But that wasn't the least of the indignities, because their bodies were riddled with bullets. Not just 16 shots, not just 30 shots, but 50 to 100 shots. These were black bodies in the United States of America. And that's why I consider Laquan McDonald's murder a lynching. But I have no fear, because we stand with and serve a God of justice. God will avenge Laquan McDonald's murder. I have no doubt about that. So we don't need to go through periods of consternation. We don't need to go through periods of fear. The Word of God in Philippians, the 4th chapter, reminds us that we need to be anxious for nothing, but through prayer and supplication, with thanksgiving, thanking the God of justice, we can make our requests known. And that God that we serve will give us a peace that passes all understanding. So let us not agonize. Let us organize. So I need you to repeat after me. Don't agonize. Don't agonize.
Don't agonize.
Organize.
Organize.
Don't agonize.
Don't agonize.
Organize.
Organize.
Don't agonize.
Don't agonize.
Organize.
Organize.
Amen.
Tonight we heard various testimonies from people that have been affected by violence and unjust policing in their communities. When we leave here today, it is our job to continue this fight. To those in power, our aldermen and our mayor, Laquan's tragedy happened on their watch. And it's their responsibility to fix it. Right now, they stand in the position and they have the opportunity to make the change. So do it.
Our call to action is simple, but it is great. We must demand that this mayor, that this city council hears our voices and that they advocate for real, transformative change in Chicago policing. That they will vote for the GAPA ordinance, an ordinance that has 23 votes. That is 3 votes away. 3 votes away from passing and changing policing in Chicago. Changing Chicago to make it safer and better. 3 votes away. And we can bring that change. And we must bring that change because we cannot afford this broken system where there is no trust, no cooperation between community and police, where citizens do not believe that they will get justice because of impunity. We cannot afford this broken system. Our communities cannot afford more loss of life. Our families cannot afford more pain and suffering. The good police we always talk about cannot afford any of this. We need change, and we are so close to getting it. We are 3 votes away from getting it. And that right there is the beauty of this all. Because we will take action. Every single of us will take action, and we can be that change. As we close out tonight, I hope every single one of you gets home safe, but I also pray that every single one of you tonight is awakened to the leader within you. Because only when we are awakened to not just the injustices around us, but to the leader within us, will things change. Only when we stand together, stand up and stand for justice, will justice be brought and justice will come. We are so close, and each and every one of you can be that difference. Each and every one of you can be that difference. We can be the difference together. We can be the difference between a world as it is, a world where a child can be shot dead, or a world as it should be. A world with love and safety, a world of justice. We can bring that world. Together we can bring it. So again, I want to thank you all for coming here. Thank you all for standing for justice, for crying and praying and calling for justice. Thank you. God bless you all. And before we go, if we can simply come together and take a step back so that we can take a photo and show the world that we are standing for justice. And before you head out, you can take a one-pager that shows how you can take action on this ordinance. How you can be that change that is needed in Chicago. If you can do that, all I have to say is God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
So, can I get everybody to take like 5 big steps back? 5 big steps back. Thank you. Now let's get a little tighter. Let's get a little tighter.
What do we want?
Justice!
Now! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! Justice! Now! If we don't get it, shut it down! If we don't get it, shut it down! 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 Shut it down!
Shut it down! Shut it down! I believe that. I believe that we will win. So yeah, here we go. You'll see more of this. This feels good. I love to see people being advocates for stuff that they believe in, for issues that they believe in. Behind me is the Cook County Jail. Y'all see that? I spent so many days in this building. This building right here behind me, Cook County Jail. I probably spent over 5 years in this building right here, in and out of this place. In and out of this place, and partly because of at the time when I was going back and forth and dealing with police brutality and all of that, it was Bird's crew of police that was doing the performing the illegal activities upon young black men. You know, I've told the story before about them tasing my testicles, my penis, beating us with phone books, doing all the little things to try to get coerced confessions out of brothers and have them turning state's evidence on each other over a statement that was neither true or not true. But guys were they just so wanted to get from under that pressure, they were signing their lives away. Hence, that's what the torture was all about of these brothers on death row. A lot of the brothers, the reverse of those charges, those Northwestern law centers and all them coming, people law firm coming through to rescue those brothers from those injustices. But anyway, the people are organized, they're unified, and we're going to continue to build this movement, this GAPA movement, holding police accountable for the violence. As you can see, they always in numbers when we come together and organize a protest against them. Even as you look across the street, they got the bikes ready to roll out. They got the county sheriffs on deck and on standby from every corner. But this is understandable. Anytime you're trying to bring a system and hold a system accountable for the years of negative and injustice and false practices that they have capitalized on, that has allowed them to be in charge and be the individuals that they have become or have existed as, we have to bring it down. We have to shut it down one way or the other. And the way to do that is by organizing people. If you can't bring the people together to make noise, to force change and policies. But remember, the Laquan McDonald shooting happened and cover-up happened while a number of these individuals was in office, the Jason Irvins and all these ones out west in the city council. They shield and cover that up. You can be mad at Ron all you want to, but in your neighborhoods, those communities, those aldermen, those committeemen, all these individuals, city councilmen, these individuals that we elect year after year was there. They watched the cover up and did nothing about it. So all I have to say is we're going to keep fighting. We ask that you watching, those that's watching, that's tuning in, find a cause to fight for. Find something to believe in. If you don't have one, we'll give you one. And or just fall in and assist us in what we're doing currently. But please. So I'm gonna shut it down for now, people. Until next time, this fight continue. Stay tuned. Please share. And like I say, find something to support and find something other than yourself to believe in. Take care.